Hi everyone, welcome to this week's reading. So this is going to be from May 11th through to May 17th. Sorry if it's a little bit darker, and hopefully the lighting is okay because I'm actually filming at night, which I rarely ever do. Still homeschooling and trying to balance work, so it's a little bit tricky at the moment, but that's okay. I'm filming a little bit later than I normally do. It's Monday the 11th of May today, and there are some changes with the astrology that I want to talk to you about for this week, but I'll let you pick your crystal first. So for the card portion of the reading, if you're new to my channel, I talk about the astrology for the week, and then I get you to pick your crystal, and then there's some messages for the week ahead. So the first one is Rhodocrosite crystal, and the second one is a blue Howlite heart. The third one is a lovely tumbled Amethyst, and the last one is this gorgeous little angelite or blue Chalcedony, it's also known by. Okay, so you can pick one or two. I usually say pick one, but you know, if you're really drawn to two different ones, just go with your intuition, of course, and see what is drawing your attention the most. And now I'm going to talk about the astrology. So this week, we start the week off with transiting Saturn moving retrograde. Okay, so when the Saturn starts to go retrograde, we can start to feel a little bit of a shift in the energy, especially if you're sensitive and in tune with the energies, where you start to really go within more and start to think about what you want out of life, because Saturn is about the structures of our life. And so we may not be able to take as much action in some aspect that we want to. We may feel a bit frustrated in regards to taking action. There may be things that we need to review in our life. With all the retrogrades, there's always something to review in some way. Saturn can relate to the structures of your life, your working life. You might be thinking about different work that you want to do, or you may have a shift in regards to your work. Some people might have a change. And the Saturn retrograde goes all the way through to, starts Monday, as I said, today, and goes all the way through to July 3rd, which then after that goes direct again. Now, when it goes back, it does actually go back into Capricorn, but not till July 3rd does it go back into Capricorn. I believe that's correct. I'll have to double check that because I have scrolled something down very quickly and I might have made a mistake there. Let me just double check on the ephemeris and see if I can find it quickly. Yep, okay, here we go. So, okay, so Saturn retrograde. Just going to see when it actually goes back into Capricorn. That's what I wanted to see. It will go into the latter degrees of Capricorn. Yeah, from actually July 2nd or 3rd, it's going to start to tip back into Capricorn. Okay, now it doesn't actually go direct until the July 3rd was when it goes into Capricorn. Saturn direct is, I believe it's around September actually. Let me just check. Yeah, so the end of September, the last few days of September, Saturn goes direct. So if there is something huge that you want to achieve in your life, or something very significant like a big change, like a home move, or you know, selling a home or a new job, it's probably going to be easier if you look towards the September period that I just mentioned to get the ball rolling in regards to the big things. While Saturn's retrograde though, you can do a lot of work behind the scenes kind of in your life of sort of planning things on a kind of internal level to see, okay, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go next? And you can take some small steps towards, you know, where you want to go when Saturn's retrograde. But just what I've noticed as an astrologer, and what a lot of astrologers will tell you about, is when Saturn's retrograde, it can be harder to make those bigger decisions. And if you do make a bit bigger decision in your life, it can just mean that there's a lot more work that you need to put in to make that happen. Okay, so it's probably going to be smoother sailing after September for something huge, like, I mean, you know, house move, or you know, buying something huge like a home or an investment property, or you know, something very significant. So that's the Saturn retrograde. Also, we can feel a little bit like a bit of a slowdown, okay, with our energy, a bit more tired, okay, with Saturn retrograde. So that's that. On Wednesday, Venus also goes retrograde, so that's interesting. And Venus will retrograde in Gemini from 21 degrees all the way back to 5 degrees of Gemini. And Venus will be retrograde till June 25th. So with Venus retrograde, what you're looking at is, for a lot of people, I mean, if you know your astrology chart, check where Venus is retrograding, because that's going to tell you a lot, okay? If Venus is retrograding for you in your 7th house, your 5th house, your 11th house, or your 8th house, possibly even your 4th house, you could be hearing from someone from the past. So someone like an ex. It's very common with Venus retrograde to hear from exes, people from the past, just popping up out of the blue. Venus retrograde time isn't usually the best time to start a brand new relationship, but it can be a good time for old relationships to experience like a powerful revival, or like a revisiting and a deepening of the connection. It is in Gemini though, which is not the deepest of energies, but it might be powerful for communication, because Gemini is a communication sign, and for communicating something that was left unsaid, or, you know, things of that nature. But also with Venus retrograde, it isn't the best time between this Wednesday, when it goes retro, through to June 25th. It's not the best time to buy something related to beauty or technology, or that combines both, okay? Because, like, especially if it's something really expensive that you're kind of blowing your budget over, just be very careful with that sort of thing. Because when Venus goes direct, you might be like, you know, I wasted my money on that. It didn't even work properly for me, and I just didn't even keep the receipt. I should have, you know, overlooking some details there with Venus retrograde into Gemini can happen. And just kind of getting swept up whimsically with something, you know, you have to be careful of that. So, especially because by Thursday we have Mars in Pisces, which is very dreamy energy here. And with Venus retrograde, we could sort of, there can be a bit of an energy of getting swept away with things that are maybe superficial and maybe don't have the depth that we need, or don't have the substance that we need, okay? Now, Mars being in Pisces is interesting because, you know, Mars really prefers to be in Aries and Scorpio, which it does very well in, or a fire sign, does pretty good in Leo and Sagittarius, does very well in Capricorn. But Pisces is like, it's a little bit meh. But at the same time, you know, Mars in Pisces can be deeply spiritual, and it can be very deeply connecting. So the only dark side of it is, because it's, you know, Pisces, Neptune ruled, it can be a bit of indulgence in the escapism side of life. So do you need to watch out for things that are addictive relationships, addictive things like alcohol, food, anything that, you know, you feel like you're doing because you want to escape reality too much. And if you're aware that that's the element that's involved here for you, it's not going to be necessarily great for you. And if you're a Pisces rising, say, you know, late degree Pisces rising, this is going to be going through your 12th house. And if, you know, even if you're an Aries rising, this could be going through your 12th house. That could be a difficult period where you have to be careful of a bit of deception. And it can be an element with Mars in Pisces, deceptive actions from others, or deceptive actions that you're doing for yourself. If you're someone that's prone to, you know, not like refusing to see when people are giving you red flags, this energy of Mars in Pisces can really make that worse and make it kind of easier to go, oh, but they're just, you know, they didn't mean that, you know. So be very aware of this kind of energy that's happening now. And Mars usually shifts signs, and, you know, will be in a sign for several weeks. I didn't check the exact date actually that one will come out, but I can check it now. So how long will we have Mars in Pisces for? It's usually several weeks. Let's see. So Mars will be in Pisces until July. Let's see. Oh, hang on. I went past it. June 28th, I think. Is that right? Yes. So Mars will be in Pisces from this week till June 28th. And then after that goes into Aries, which is much better. Much more direct energy, much more forward movement energy. Okay, and then Friday we have the Sun in Taurus trine with Pluto, which is a very nice energy. So there is a sense of empowerment on Friday, a sense of feeling empowered, feeling more positive about things to do with money, business, your physical items and belongings, maybe doing something creative, because that Mars in Pisces can also bring you creative fuel. It can bring you a lot of energy for, you know, if you're someone that writes or does music or does art or anything that is creative really in any way. Mars going to Pisces on Thursday and then Friday Sun trine Pluto can be a very creative Very, very creative time for you, okay? It's also very spiritual energy, Mars in Pisces. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it can make you much more very, that doesn't make sense. I'm tired, it's late. Mars in Pisces can be more spiritual. It can be more intuitive for you. So you can start to tap into that more intuitive aspect of your personality, trusting your psychic insight a bit more and all that sort of thing. Okay, so let's look at the cards now. So also I'll say if you'd like a private reading, just go to the link below. Please be aware that I've had a few inquiries lately of people wanting instant readings. Nothing wrong with wanting an urgent reading. I offer that at my store and I do accommodate for that. But just on the occasion I get people saying, can I have the reading now? Like literally, I'll pay you now and you give me the reading now. Sorry, not possible. I actually have a life. You know, I'm a mum. I'm super busy with my business, yes. And I've got other people waiting for readings and everyone's, you know, it's all scheduled for me. So yes, I can do an urgent reading for you, but it's going to take 24 to 48 hours for me to get that reading organised and lined up with you. If it's a chat reading where we're both talking together, or if it's a video Zoom meeting where we're also, you know, I have to fit it into my schedule basically. So I can't just drop everything and, you know, provide a reading, just so you know. Also for me, I do pride myself on quality readings. I'm not someone that will just, you know, book a whole bunch of readings and overwhelm myself, and you know, I can't work like that. I need to tune in and space things out. It's my Taurus nature. I need to take my time. So if you're good with that, then the turnaround time at the moment for a standard reading, not an urgent reading, standard reading is, at the moment, it does change a little bit, you know, depending how busy I am, but it's 7 to 14 days, 7 to 14 business days, or 6 to 13 business days at the moment. Okay. A bit longer for astrology readings. And as I said, urgent readings are still 24 to 48 hours, which is pretty quick. All right, so let's look at this one for you. So if you chose the pink crystal, the Rhodocrosite, you have the World. Oh my goodness, and the Ace of Cups. What a beautiful message. And you have Hematite, mental strength, root chakra. Oh my goodness, there's some beautiful messages here. Okay. Oh, I think I just got the light on that a bit too much. That's okay. So the World is ruled by Saturn. So it talks about endings and new beginnings. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is totally about new beginnings here. This is very interesting. It's like, I feel with this message here, you've come to the end of something very emotional for you. It's like maybe even a perspective shift, or a change with your goals, because Saturn here, the World, is very powerful. It's like you've accumulated a lot of knowledge and wisdom in your life, and you're able to share that with others, and you're overflowing with this almost like compassion for yourself and others. And for some people, you know, this can be a very creative energy here for you. So maybe feeling very inspired about something, because the Ace of Cups, you know, the Ace of Cups can be love, but in this case right now, I'm not getting that just yet. I'm getting more inspiration, flow of compassion, spirituality, wisdom, with the lotuses here and the World card here, which is, as I said, Saturn, which can relate to working life, career, goals, that sort of thing. The Hematite's very interesting because it says mental strength, and that really stands out to me, but so does the root chakra. The root chakra is about attracting abundance into your life, okay? The mental strength is interesting. It's like realizing that anything that we want to accomplish in life does take mental strength, because for most people there's no quick fixes. And here we have Saturn saying, you know, the Lord of Time, saying to you, things do take time. You do need a process in order to, you know, you can't just go from A to Z. You need to go through all the steps, okay? But what I'm getting that's so beautiful with this, for your message, if you chose this crystal, is you're on the right track with the changes that you want to make that are changing the structure of your life here with Saturn. And yes, you might need some mental strength for this. Yes, there may be hard work involved, but whatever it is, it's going to feel amazing for you. It's going to be very revitalizing. So if you've been thinking of making a change in your life, whether it's work-related, career-related, life direction, I do feel a very real-world energy with this, I have to say. As I said, the Ace of Cups can be relationship, and it might be for some people, but that's the message that I'm getting now, is very real-world. It's very real. It's like your structure of your life, your direction, your goals, your aspirations, what you want to do, and something very inspiring here, and it could be creative as well. But there is a need for you to be very realistic about this with Saturn and the mental strength card here. The Hematite is very grounding, so it's saying, you know, you will be going through a process to get to this beautiful place, and maybe this is something that you've been thinking about, but the process is important. It's very, very important for your growth and for your stability, and so that you don't become ungrounded and sort of lose your way. It's important to go step by step so that you know yourself in a very powerful way, and it will be ultimately very empowering for you, whatever that is, whatever's going through your head at the moment for those people that chose that one. This is for those that chose the heart-shaped blue Howlite. Let's see what you have. King of Wands. Ooh, Hierophant. Seems pretty intense too. Blue lace agate. Funny, didn't come up with the blue lace agate crystal, which I actually had out, which is actually interesting in itself because I never picked that crystal, and this card never comes out. But anyway, you guys got it for the blue Howlite. Blue lace agate is communication, throat chakra. So there's something here about honest communication in a situation, okay? It could be with someone in authority, like a boss, a parent, or a husband, or someone like, a father figure, a brother, or an older brother, or an older relative, okay? For a lot of people, I'm getting more work-related, I have to say. I feel there's a sense of work with this. For other people, they may be just dealing with an authority figure in some other way. Authority can be anyone that has authority externally or in your life. There could be, for some people, an issue that's come up. This could represent you if you're, a male person. A Leo energy here, fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, with an authority figure. And what I'm getting here is, for some people, there's something about importance of communication. The way you communicate in this situation is going to be very, very important to the success of that situation. Blue lace agate is very calming. It's a very calming stone. And what I'm getting here is it's really important for this communication, if you chose this one, to go slowly with this and not react out of fear to fast track something quickly and skip over the details too much. There's something where you need to just slow it a little bit down and kind of look at everything in detail. And I'm getting that from the blue lace agate, the detail, because blue lace agate has a lot of textures and details in it. It's almost like you need to study the details of something before you present it or before you go forward with it. The High Priest, the Hierophant in traditional tarot, is also about marriage, commitment. So for someone, they may be thinking about commitment in a relationship or thinking about a long-term relationship. That's another way I can see that. But with this card here, this beautiful card here, it's really saying be calm. There's no need to rush anything right now. Everything is in its divine flow. This reminds me of water, and water, think about how water flows. Water is very natural. It doesn't, water can be very soft and gentle, but it can be very powerful. So it's almost like what I'm getting here is, and this is Taurus energy, is doing things slowly and methodically, if you chose this one, will actually be very beneficial for the situation, even though you want to move faster here, because the King of Wands is very passionate energy. He's quite go-getting energy, even though he's seated. He still is very passionate. He wants to get through things quickly and get on to the next thing. But this is saying take your time with a situation that maybe you're dealing with someone that has authority or someone that's offering you something, a contract, a commitment, a job, or you may be yourself looking at a position of authority in some way, work or otherwise, or personal life, okay? That's a very interesting message. It's very different, okay? So, the next one is the Amethyst. So cute. Alright, let's see. Dioptase. I love Dioptase, by the way. It's one of my favorite crystals. Very expensive. I don't own any. I wish I did. Dioptase Direction Heart Chakra. That's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Two feminine energies. Here we have the High Priestess. Sorry, the glare. And Queen of Swords. Okay, interesting. Okay, so right away with the High Priestess, for some reason I'm reminded of Persephone's journey into the underworld. If you don't know about the myth of Persephone, look it up. It might relate to you if you're a female and you're thinking about relationships and a difficult, challenging relationship in particular, okay? Or if you're dealing with someone that's Scorpionic or Scorpio-like or has strong Pluto, if you know their astrology, or someone that has been very challenging to you most likely in a relationship because of the heart chakra here. That's one message I'm getting, okay? And the Queen of Swords, there's like two women here, and I feel like there's something very significant with this. On the one hand, for some people, this is about following your intuition, listening to your intuition, doing something that is heart-centered this week, that it's like saying to you, really listen to your intuition and take action accordingly, is what I'm getting here as another message. So that could just be one message for one person. But the direction heart chakra is very strong, and it's just interesting because this energy here is about listening to your intuition and your, intuition, your heart center, your inner guidance. Very watery energy, and the moon's represented here several times, which is feminine wisdom. The Queen of Swords is a bit different. It's a very sort of logical feminine energy where it's like, I've seen this before and I know what this is about. I'm going to take this action. Or, you can't pull the wool over my eyes type of energy. She's pretty wise, the Queen of Swords. She's been around. She knows. She sees through people quite a bit. She's not easy to fool. And she knows like all the games people could play, and she can see through that, is what I'm trying to say. So you might be dealing with, it could be that you're a female and you're dealing with another female that's a little bit troublesome, and you're going to have to consult with your heart, even though it might be tempting to sort of cut this person out very logically and very sort of in a detached manner. There is a need to sort of go a bit more slowly again with this, is what I'm feeling. So another message there. But take what makes sense to you personally, and sometimes I might just say one sentence for you out of a whole bunch of messages with one crystal, so just be aware of that. I'm getting more messages here, so I'm going to keep going. So I'm also getting, for someone else, there may be something about studying spirituality, the occult, tarot, astrology, and following a path with this. For some people, might be only a couple of people watching. I really love this gorgeous card though. The how do you say it? Dioptase? Gosh, that's hard to say. Heart chakra, gorgeous crystal there. I might get a closer look at that. It's just so pretty. If you like crystals and you look up real examples on Google of dioptase, it's just so stunning. There's something very rich with this. I feel a lot of creativity, a lot of compassionate energy, like similar to the Ace of Cups that was coming up before in another reading with the Rhodocrosite crystal. This is what I'm feeling with this card, is a lot of emotional energy that's very positive and creative, and you could do a lot with your own inner creativity in some way. So whether that's just this week you're doing something creative, you might be out in the garden doing stuff in the garden. There's a lot of flowers and plants here. You might be connecting spiritually this week in a different way creatively. You might be thinking about a business idea. You may be doing something that is tapping into your feminine side, your creative side. That's very strong. Okay. And it is with the Amethyst, which is about spirituality. So there could be something there with that for sure. Okay, the last one. This is a blue lace agate. There it is. Let's see what you guys have. Ooh, blue crystal, but it's angelite. Interesting. Throat chakra and crown chakra. We have throat chakra again. Interesting. And the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Okay. I get a bit of a heavy energy here. So for some people, or a couple of people, there's something about a difficulty in a relationship that I'm picking up on. Two people that are not seeing eye to eye, see how they're facing away from each other. One person's very much in their head. The other person feels very practical and pragmatic and focused on money. There could be a couple here, or a relationship in your life, whether it's your primary relationship if you're in one, or someone that you live with, or something like that, where you're a little bit at odds with this person. Someone here is very money focused and quite sort of I don't know, I get kind of a shallow energy with this card, or a limitation, perhaps limited thinking is what I'm getting here. And then someone else, this could be you, or it could be someone else that is around you, is just kind of focusing on their own thing, and there's a little bit of disharmony I'm getting here. So there might be an issue in a family, or in a household, or in a relationship, in a workplace even, where there's some tension. Okay. And so what the advice for that is to communicate with softness here, okay? The Angelite crystal talks about the angels connecting with your higher self, connecting with your angels, your guides, and feel the power of your higher self coming through to guide you with how to handle some kind of tricky communications is what I want to say. I do feel this message is more straightforward than the others for some reason, where there was multi-layered messages for different people. This feels right now just more straightforward, though I'll see if anything else comes up. But the throat and crown chakra, yeah, that's about listening to your higher guidance, not reacting emotionally, but like listening to your higher guidance and spirit around you before you make a decision on things. And that's another thing I wanted to mention, which I forgot about the Venus retrograde, is it's not the best time to make a snap decision around a relationship or around an important relational situation around you, because with Venus retrograde, things are quite up in the air. It's more a time to review things. It's not really a time to sort of make snap decisions. So this is really advising you to listen to your intuition and let yourself be guided step by step with that, rather than reactivity or reacting negatively out of stress and so forth. Also, I'm getting meditation with this. Meditation will be very healing for you at this time if you chose this one, because there's something about connecting to higher guidance that will be very soothing for you. Okay, so those are the messages, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week and talk to you next week. Bye.